there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Oᴘᴇyémi as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you in the next as we discuss the situations.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from Mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to today's edition of the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. Today is Friday, the 13th day of the month of September 2024. That means today is the last edition of the show for the week, and you admit that it's been an engaging week. Started the show on Monday like the house on fire, and then all through the week we've had conversations around how this country can just get better. Unfortunately, the flooding in Maiduguri dominated the conversation almost all through the week. The president also returned from China after the official visit, where a lot of conversations were had, along part of development, commitment from the Chinese government, and also commitment from the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in respect to how this country can constantly make progress. And yesterday on the show, Mr. YDME was with us, and I asked him a couple of questions. How much more does he think Nigerians can benefit from the very publicized and pretty much colorful visit of the president to China? And he talked about the fact that, well, let's wait and see. Maybe the next couple of years or maybe months, we can look at, oh, these particular dates the president visited China, and these were the things that that particular visit had brought in terms of FDIs, basically foreign direct investment into the country. Is one thing for Chinese, for Chinese to come work on projects here paid for by the government. Is another thing for them to come invest in this place. And Chinese commitment and investments is obviously not scarce in Nigeria. I mean, some major roads in this country, even the rail system in Nigeria and all of that. But let's just keep our fingers crossed, and then hopefully we'll start seeing the reward of these visits. If you check the 8 years of former President Muhammadu Buhari, you understand that he had more than 60 official visits out of this country to different countries at different times. But well, the result of that is left for Nigerians to actually check. But let's also hope that this one embarked on by the president would give us much results. And once again, our heart really goes out to the people of Borno State. It's been tough. And even though we all agree that, it's a case of people not doing the right things, I think somewhere around August or thereabout, early August, a Guardian newspaper did an exclusive report on the states that are under heavy risk of flooding, and Borno State was part of such states. In fact, when I was going through some information day before yesterday, I found out that the Borno State had received well over 600 million from ecological funds this year alone. What have they done with this? Now there's there's a collapse from a dam, and the entire state capital is in a bad place. Well, we've seen governors visit. The governor of Lagos was there. The governor of Ondo State also, Aloke Aiyedatiwa, was also there. And they were also seen governors, and even the national chairman of the APC was also in Borno, just to, I sympathize with the governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, and the people of Borno State. NEMA is reporting that about 37 people, have died, and NEMA is also saying that a lot of children that was initially declared missing are now found and are in a safe place. I mean, a state that have just struggling to get its foot back in terms of rebuilding of public infrastructures in that place after many years of constant issues with banditry and insurgents. It's just unfortunate. And like my guest yesterday said, a lot of people need to be asked certain questions. If you knew about the reports, even the Nigerian Meteorological Center also gave these early warning signals that some states are on the high risk, some are just middle risk, and some are going to experience heavy rainfall, but not anticipated that there will be flooding. And Borno State was also on this list. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. I was watching Sirajo Garba earlier in the day, the zonal coordinator of NEMA, that's a National Emergency Management Agency, and he talked about the fact that resettling has started, but the water is not even going up yet. But we're hoping that by weekend into next week things will start taking shape, and it's going to be a whole lot of rebuilding. The governor said over 1 million people were affected. Houses were submerged, cars, farms, in a country that is still struggling with food scarcity. It's just a bad time. But of course, I kind of really like the effort of the Borno State governor. He's been there at the thick of things, going into the water, trying to reach out to the victims and trying to, assure them that the people of the government of Borno and the government of Nigeria also. Remember, the vice president was also there day before yesterday. Also, he was a former governor of the state, by the way. So let's just keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully, things will start taking shape in the next couple of days. IDP camps are flooded already. Prison correctional facilities in the state also reports that, quite a lot of inmates escaped, some drowned. But we'll just keep our fingers crossed, and we hope, and actually hope, that things will start getting better anytime soon. Today we're focusing on Edo State, and Barrister Osarinti joins me on the show today. Is from Edo State. He's based in Edo State. He's a legal practitioner. And we just look at, it's about 8 days to the governorship election in the state. God willing, all things being equal, by this time next week, Mainland FM should have our men on ground in Benin City to give us a full coverage around to go through the process with you. So, there's been a whole lot. This week, there was the Edo State Peace Summit on Monday. And yesterday, there was the Edo State Peace Accord, and the People's Democratic Party shunned the signing of that accord. The funny thing is that the state chairman of the party and the governorship candidate of the party were actually at the venue, but they said they were at the venue to protest the alleged detention of about 11 PDP members in Abuja. So they are coming to protest at a venue of a peace accord. There's just a whole lot going on. Day before yesterday also, the Supreme Court also upheld, the appeal court rather upheld the candidacy of the Labour Party, the former national president of NBA, that's Olumide Akpata, as the candidate of the Labour Party. The APC also have had its own shares of conversation. The current deputy governor of the state, Comrade Philip Shaibu, a member of the PDP as we speak, has been hobnobbing with the APC, attending all of their rallies, his hand being held up by the former governor of the state and the former national chairman of the APC, now the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, talking about Comrade Senator Adams Oshiomhole. So it's just been a whole lot. I will continue to do the build up. So I thought let's make a quick trip to Edo State. Let's speak to Barrister Dennis Osarinti. Let's know what exactly is going on. But we'll take a very short break and then we'll reconnect with our guests and then we'll get a conversation going. It's Mainland 98.3 FM and this is the Situation Room. I'll be right back, and when I come back, it is straight up into the conversation with my guest. Stay with us.
Things seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Oᴏᴜt괜બ્ᴇ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you in the next as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much and welcome back. Barrister Dennis Osarinti joins me live from Edo State, and we're going to be looking at the September 21st, 2024 governorship election in the state. A lot of matters are rising as we speak. As I said before we went on that break, earlier in the week, there was the Edo Peace Summit that had, everyone that mattered in the state politically, economically at that venue, trying to preach peace ahead of the gubernatorial election in the state. And yesterday, the peace accord, as we always see the tradition, even at the federal, at the general elections, also at the state elections, but of all the 17 political parties that will be fielding governorship candidates at the 21st of September election, the PDP did not sign the peace accord, and they gave their reasons. The chairman of the party in the state and even the governorship candidate of the PDP in the state, that's Mr. Mr. Mswoɪᴟ Ighodalo gave his reasons. I say, you know what? There are about 11 PDP members allegedly arrested and kept in Abuja as we speak. We want them released before we talk about peace whatsoever. And also, if you observe how the last time Barrister Osarinti was with me on the show, we had two different deputy governors. He's going to tell us the state of things as we speak. But Comrade Philip Shaibu has been hobnobbing with the APC. He's been attending the rallies. Day before yesterday, at one of the local governments in Edo State, he was there with the governorship candidate of the party, Senator Monday Okpebolo, his running mate, the senator representing Edo North Senatorial District as Senator Adams Oshiomhole, and a whole lot of other APC bigwigs. He was on the stage with them, but he's still a member of the PDP. By the way, earlier today, the PDP in the ward of Senator Dino Melaye has suspended him for anti-party activity. So it just clicked in my head, like, if the PDP at the national level, or even from the ward of Nyesom Wike, had not suspended him, there is Comrade Philip Shaibu that is a member of the PDP, a deputy governor elected on the platform of the PDP, is also hobnobbing with the APC everywhere. What happens to Dino? Why was he suspended? Is it that Wike was too big to be touched by the PDP? I think that's a talk for another day. Barrister Dennis Osarinti, good evening, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us in the Situation Room today.
Good evening, my very beloved brother. It's a pleasure to be with you again this evening.
Thank you very much. Yes, Barrister Dennis is from the Bronze Solicitors through a couple of conversations today, but we're going to be focused mainly on the election that we'll be holding 8 days from now. That's specifically on the 21st of September 2024. That is the first of the two off-cycle elections we have this year. Once we're done with Edo State in September, we'll move to Ondo State in November. Coincidentally, both states shared the same border. In fact, they literally just, cohabit with each other. If you're going into Ondo, you'd have to pass a part of Edo. If you are going into Edo, you'd have to pass a part of Ondo as well. But let's get straight up into it. Barrister Dennis.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about how Benin City is as we speak. I mean, you can't deny the fact that this is an election. Apart from it being an isolated election, is a state that a lot of interests are flying everywhere. The PDP says they want to retain power. The APC says they want to reclaim power. And the Labour Party says they want to upturn the Apple's card and do the unthinkable because they won the presidential election in the state. They also think they have a candidate that is sellable, being the former national president of the Nigerian Bar Association. I'm talking about Olumide Akpata. So there is the outgoing governor that had obviously endorsed his successor in Mswoɪᴟ Ighodalo. There is the former governor of the state and a serving senator, that is Senator Adams Oshiomhole, that is also supporting the candidate of his party that also happened to be a serving senator, Senator Monday Okpebolo. So I know that the energies are really high, but give us how or what the mood in Edo State is right now as we speak.
Yeah, well, we currently in Edo State. Thank you once again for having me. The mood is tense. I must say, people are going about business, albeit quietly with bated breath, and coupled with the fact that we've had a series of protestations from women, from youth, and all manner of groups coming out to protest, largely against the high-handedness of the Nigerian police force, who the PDP have accused of, adopting a Pakistan stand, and judging from the fact that it appears, only the members of the PDP are being targeted for arrest and summary prosecution. Why the PDP are also alleging that they've written series of petitions, or time and again, and the IGP have refused to honor any of them. And they are also saying that, they have video evidence of, well-known APC members in the state who were seen to be brandishing sophisticated weapons and firearms, in broad daylight, and they've had to petition the IGP. But as we speak, the IGP have refused to invite any of those persons, and they have refused to even speak to any of those petitions that are written by the PDP. So, for me, generally, the tension in the air, and then, of course, the tension is well founded, because I remember very vividly some time ago, even before the current president, when he was yet an aspirant, he came to Benin and declared openly that he was going to hand over Benin or hand over Edo back to the APC. He said so, even when he was a candidate. So you can imagine what he can do, or what he could do, or what they are hoping to do now that he's not a sitting president. But I can assure you that the people of Edo in 2020, we also had a similar political tension when we also had General Buhari, then president, also coming out to say he wants to deliver Edo for his party. And the Edo people came out and said no. The slogan, popular slogan of Edo not be Lagos became became a very popular slogan in the country to say you cannot be in Lagos and be determining the political fortunes or the political.
That's the whole Edo no be Lagos conversation.
Yeah, so that became a refrain at some point, and that has now also snowballed. Of course, after the elections, the now president, who was then an aspirant in a chieftain of the APC, left with a bloodied nose, because he came out openly to say he preferred a particular candidate. And the people came out and said, no, you cannot be in Lagos and be telling us to vote for Edo. And now that he's president, that he has a stake in these elections. He wants to probably regain his lost glory and then find a way of, settling old political scores with, the powers that be. But one thing is certain, that INEC has told us very clearly that they have one of the highest level of voters registrations and collection of PVC. I think we placed it about 60 or so percent. That appears to be one of the highest in our recent history of people coming out to register to vote, and also coming out to come and collect their permanent voter card. And there was also pressure mounted on INEC to extend the period for collection. That means that before the end of this extended period, we may even have maybe 90 or 80 to 90% collection rate. That is a landmark, historic achievement that ought to be celebrated. That said, the PDP or the ruling party in the state have expressed some concerns, and I think as a democratic, institution, INEC must come out, transparently to address some of those concerns, so that people can have this sense of fairness, they can have this sense of inclusion, and they will be reassured that if they come out to vote, their votes will count, and their preferred candidate will emerge as governor of Edo State, as opposed to this current, suspicion that it appears to be somebody who is cloaking in the dark.
At the conversation, I have a feeling that it's going to be a very interesting one today. Barrister Dennis Osarity. Now, let's keep that side of the conversation, but let's get into the real deal. Yes. The APC has two senators as we speak. Yes. One of them is a former governor. The other one is a serving senator, and he is the governorship candidate of the party. The running mate to the governorship candidate of the APC is also a serving House of Reps member, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Very well, sir.
Good. The candidate of the Labour Party, Olumide Akpata, was the former national president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA.
Very well.
He's also been in the mix. He's been talking. The Peter Obi factor. There's a planned shutdown rally in Edo State to sell the candidate of the Labour Party, and there is also the PDP. I swear, Godalo. I mean, after the old drama around the primaries of the PDP, I remember you resolved as well. The APC also had this drama after the initial primaries was conducted. It had also been resolved, but so it looks like everybody has a stake in this. 17 political parties will be participating on Saturday next week, the 21st of September, and God sparing our lives.
Yes, sir.
The last time you were here, you talked about the fact that the APC candidate is not talking, their manifestos are not is not available for anyone to see. But between then and now, talk to us about the campaign strength of all of those candidates. And this is not a campaign. The campaigns, and from your own assessment, have they been able to speak to the people of Edo State in respect to issue-based conversations on what they want to do for them in whoever becomes the governor by next week Saturday?
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for these very brilliant questions for setting the agenda. Yes, from my own observation, it's very obvious. Like I did mention the last time, and I challenged the major political parties. Yes, you have mentioned that we have about 17 or so political parties. You know, I think it has even increased. I think I saw that INEC mentioned that then a particular party went to court to force his hand to be included in the election. So the numbers may keep increasing even before the final the curtain raiser and all that. So, but the people, like I mentioned to you the last time, we said that a lot of these candidates are just mudslinging. They really they're not speaking to the issues. They don't have a manifesto, and they have not really come out to present themselves to be scrutinized by their would-be employers, which is people of Edo State. And I still maintain that position. Like I told you, I will start from the APC, because the APC for me appears to be the dark horse. You know, they are the ones who appears to be a lot more desperate. I don't know, for reasons best known to them, they want
the APC is the dark horse. Can you also throw more light on that line of thought of yours?
Yes, because right now they've been touting the argument, or that they flexing the fact that they have federal might behind them, and that
now I
all
understand.
it takes. They have all it takes to capture Edo, and they keep using the word capture, advisedly. And I keep wondering, how do you capture a state in a democratic situation? So, and we keep saying that instead of the APC candidate to come out and sell himself to the people, he has continued to hide from the people, and he has refused today to release a manifesto. What we have been seeing in the campaign rally is Adams Oshiomhole, and your sister station have made a very germane observation. Is Adam Oshiomhole the candidate of the APC, or it is Senator Okpebholo? That is the question people keep asking, because in each of these campaign rallies, it's only Adam Oshiomhole that keeps mounting the rostrum or the podium to speak on behalf of the candidate. The candidate keeps speaking through the process, and this particular process this time around is a service senator from Edo North, a former governor of Edo State, and Edo people are very miffed by that, by that posturing, because they want to hear from the person who is on the ballot. Senator Adam Oshiomhole is not on the ballot, and the APC have refused to bring out their candidate for the people to hear from him, to interact with him, and begin to gauge his sense of understanding of the state he wants to govern. And that has, for me, further, weakened the fact that they have a federal mind behind them, and people are beginning to suggest or make some allusion or make the allegation that explains why the police, the state, Peter Obi in the last presidential election had a lot of sentiment, right? Among people, like the youth population of the state, and that explains why they voted a mark for the Labour Party. It was for the presidential election, and even for the senatorial and the House of Representatives. Labour Party, even in the major senatorial district in the state, Labour Party, came out top. They won Senate, they won House of Rep, and by the whiskers, they almost won some more seats at the level of the State House of Assembly. All right, but that momentum seems to have died down, because after Peter Obi lost that elections, right, they couldn't sustain the obedience movement. And for your information, even Peter Obi himself said it clearly that the obedience movement is not a part and parcel of the Labour Party. So it was a conglomeration of a lot of young people cut across various political divides, and that momentum seems to have died down immediately after the elections ended, and that was reflected even in the House of Assembly election in Edo State, and even the elections of the local government that also took place. So people went back to their old political alignment and voted for their preferred political, interest, and that, to a large extent, giving birth to another movement now, they are telling you that the obedience are not for the candidate of the Labour Party in Edo State. The obedience movement have been saying, even on billboards across the state, saying that they are supporting a particular candidate other than that of the Labour Party. And that for me is a major crack in the wall of the Labour Party. And again, in the Labour Party too, there appears to be a lot of crisis at the leadership level in the state. And the crisis is also snowballing from the crisis they have at national level. You have seen in the report where Apure is accusing Obi is accusing Apure. They are all baggers drawn at each other's throats. And that same division also permeated to the state level. So you have factional leadership of the Labour Party even in the state. And again, you still have a lot of aspirants in the primaries of Labour Party challenging the emergence of the candidate court till tomorrow. So and these people are all hell-bent on going to the Supreme Court to continue to challenge the candidacy of the Labour Party. And what is even more fundamental is the fact that a particular aspect of the Labour Party has also come out to say that Olumide Akpata is not the candidate of the party, and that the name is in parade, is not his real name. That INEC must come out to tell us who exactly is the candidate of the Labour Party in Edo State. So these issues are.
But the court said otherwise day before yesterday in that judgment, upholding his candidates as the candidate of the party.
That is the Court of Appeal, and they still have a room to go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the final court of the land. So the Supreme Court gives a final say to that matter. It is still a matter that is open-ended, and we cannot really say with finality who exactly is the candidate of the Labour Party. And like I told you before now, like I told you last time, that the major candidates in these elections are from a particular district, which is the Edo Central District. And the reason is not far-fetched. The reason is largely sentimental. It's not a legal standpoint, right? They are saying that the governorship must rotate to the eastern speaking part of Edo State. And that is why the major party, the PDP and the APC, zoned their ticket to Edo Central. Yes, because Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party is from the same district.
The outgoing governor is from.
It's even a cousin. It's even a cousin to the outgoing governor of the PDP. So it is not fair to continue to insist that power must remain, because people have even said that Peter Obi wanted to become president on the basis of equity and fairness and rotation, because it's from Southeast. So why should Peter Obi, who himself was clamoring for a power shift to the Southeast, now be coming to Edo to ask Edo people to jettison that same principle of fairness and rotational power that he was preaching a fortnight ago? So people are not beginning to say that Peter Obi is becoming very hypocritical. That if you are yesterday to jettison that same silent rotational arrangement that have been working for us as a people. So these are issues that have been left unresolved, and they will be manifested as the voting units come on the 21st of the election. Having said so, recently INEC also released some information, validly nominate or submit names of valid polling agents to INEC. And at the period of confirmation of those names have since elapsed, and Labour Party and the APC appear to be the greatest victim of that miscalculation. So if you don't have agents, how do you now ensure that you galvanize support at the local level? So people are now beginning to see that the Labour Party candidate, his popularity is just superficial, that he really does not have the wherewithal, it doesn't have the political strength or muscle or stature to really drive his political ideology to the grassroots, as opposed to the two major political parties.
Mr. Dennis, sorry, I know that after talking about the APC and the Labour Party, you would go to the PDP. But before you leave the Labour Party, let me ask you a very straightforward question. You've talked about the fact that the Peter Obi movement died with the presidential election, and then all of that energy had died down. The boys have gone back to their political alliances. But I want to ask you, how much of a spoiler do you think Olumide Akpata would be in the calculation of things? Now, don't get me wrong, and for everyone listening, I'm not saying Olumide Akpata is not in the calculation for the election. Everybody knows the Labour Party conversation. Peter Obi comes in, he boosts people's confidence, and people know that, okay, if you can support this man for the presidential election, we should also support whoever is endorsing. But from your own observation, now this is you speaking to me as someone that is based in Edo State, someone that has his chamber and his business running in Edo State. How much of a spoiler?
The Labour Party candidate was gathering some dust and raising some momentum, right? But there's a recent political school of thought that has now, with empirical evidence, come to show that a vote for the Labour Party invariably might just be a vote for the APC, and I will tell you why. And they cited the example of the national election that if those who voted for Peter Obi, voted for Atiku, and voted for Cᴏᴏ ended up undoing themselves, and that now gave Asiwaju, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's a soft landing. Because if you sum up the votes of all the other three major political,
if you put it together on the candidates, that's over 13 million votes.
Yeah, higher than all of the incumbent president.
True.
So in the same vein, they also believe that the reason why Labour candidate is campaigning largely in Benin City is because that is where he's from and that is where his strength really lies. So he wants to. He's not here to really win. He wants to undermine the chances of the PDP and give some credence to the candidate of the APC. Maybe
that is your own calculation.
I said it's a school of thought.
Okay.
A school of thought.
Okay.
And I owe it, the fidelity to them to also air this, a particular school of thought. It's not my view. This is the view of some people in the state, and they are saying that there may be some kind of nocturnal alignment between the Labour Party and the APC. And they are even brought out recently, allegedly brought out some photographs, of some Nicodemus meetings going on between the APC and the Labour Party candidates. And the reason for this alignment is to see how they can weaken the foothold of the PDP in the South, so that the APC candidate, who is currently a senator from the Edo Central, can now begin to strengthen his own base in Central, and it will also now combine with the strength of Adamsumole from the North, and then that will now reduce the pool. Because if you look at the vote,
these permutations are just crazy.
Let me land on this thought.
Please go on.
Because you have 60% of the votes that make somebody a governor of Edo State come from Edo South. So you know what that means? Which means the vote in Edo South can swallow up the votes from all the other districts combined. And all that. So it will be those who are making these allegations, they may not be found on the truth. Because if Olumide is from Edo South and he ends up getting a large number of votes from Edo South without getting the same amount of votes from Central and Edo North, that will not give some level of advantage to the other major opponent in the election.
And Edo South is more like the hunting ground for the other two candidates that come from Edo Central.
Absolutely. So whether this permutation may be right or wrong is yet to be seen. But on the body language, because like you mentioned, all the major rallies of the Labour Party candidates have only been held in Benin City. They've never been held in Edo Central or even Edo North. So the question now is that if even when they brought Peter Obi, they only campaigned in Benin. So why are they focusing on Benin? Because Benin was the only place that that was the only place that Labour Party won the last time. They didn't win in Central. They didn't also win in Edo North. So why are you focusing your strength in Edo South? Why are you not going to the other district? So if you are really you want to win this election, you must be able to have the geographical spread, to become the governor of this state. If you're not doing that, therefore means that you are trying to undermine the vote of the PDP in Edo South so that you cannot give room for your political alignment. So whether these allegations are true or not is yet to be seen. Like I told you, these are not my views. These are the views of some political thoughts and political watchers in Edo State. And we are already here as analysts to bring that to the fore, so that people can begin to understand that people are already saying that a vote for the Labour Party if they vote for APC and nothing more pretentious.
Okay. Thank you very much for clearing that out. Because I spoke to a friend of mine that works in a private media space in Edo State. And, after about 20-minute conversation late yesterday night, he shared almost the same thoughts you just shared. That if I come into the state on Thursday, or that's 2 days to the election or thereabout, that I can smell the permutation that he just explained. And that's almost exactly the same thing he just talked about. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. Now, you talked about the APC, you talked about the Labour Party. There is the PDP conversation. And this is it. When you talked about the fact that Adams Oshiomhole have been campaigning for the candidate Sɪᴛᴜᴛ the candidate of the party, how PDP have been able to next week Saturday talk to us about Comrade Philip Shuai
today. I for one as an individual will be selling for the cost of lead level of the previous. Even when the federal government is today on the 25th of every month, the government of the state election. Or some of these over so in the real economic sector regime that can collect investment, not the homeboy. But I can tell you first the local government of the state by the PDP and its candidates, the number of people that come out in their numbers to come and listen to the kind of the PDP is for me. So the people know the governor they elected in the state, and that's why they keep telling you that Edo is not Lagos. Out on the
and decide who governs them.
And decide who becomes their governor. So no amount of federal might can sway the expression of people. And that's why INEC has told us that Edo appears to have, they have collected their PVCs and they are very enlightened. That's what I must tell you. The average Edo voter is very enlightened. They understand what the time really is. They can tell you that right now they are having a pandemic in their pocket, and they would not be willing to reward a government that has impoverished them by giving them another state. A candidate that has not refused to speak to them cannot be rewarded with their votes. They know these issues, and that's where this governor has kicked the bucket for me and for a lot of people in Edo State. He appears to have come up with a clear blueprint, and he has told us that the only person that can take us to the next level is a man who has a degree in economics, who has been a board chairman, a boardroom guru. He has managed multinational companies, giving employment to millions
Barrister
and millions
Dennis
of
Osarity. Barrister I understand very clearly. But of course,
so people know the choices they are making. So they are seeing it clearly, they are compared. Blow for blow, head to head, shoulder to shoulder. They are very convinced that the only person that they need right now is somebody who has the intellectual fecundity.
And that is not Olumide Akpata, the former NBA president.
No, I'm not giving names now.
I'm just saying. I mean, that could be any of the candidates.
That can crunch the figures, that can understand the time that we are in, that can create buffers, economic buffers, that have the necessary network of people of the current government. Because they want to right now, pensioners in Edo State are no longer protesting. Their pensions are being paid as when due. Their salaries are being paid as when due. The debt is being serviced conveniently by the IDR of the state. So they don't want to go back to Egypt. Before now, I must remind you very quickly that before now, non-state actors in Edo State that they call lions and tigers were the ones collecting taxes and levies, not the state. They were enriching themselves with state resources. But all those leakages have been blocked right now, and now we now have more resources to do more projects for the people. And you see, people don't know.
Barrister Osarity, sorry, the instance you just gave, as in respect to the people collecting tax, that was how long? That was how many months or years ago?
That was the hallmark of the APC government under Comrade Oshiomhole.
Okay. And I just wanted us to be sure so that we know that it is only party that is different. Godwin Obaseki has been the governor for almost 8 years.
They acted brazenly. But all these factors have been cured. And that's why the people right now you see supporting, let me not sound political. The people right now that are supporting a change of regime are largely some of these non-state actors who have been put out of business. So they think that the only way they can sustain their livelihood
is to get back into power.
To come back to the government house. And that is why the people are saying no to their shenanigans. They know what they want. The people want to continue to vote for progressive government. They want prosperity for all of them. Not poverty.
Barrister Science, let's change the conversation a bit. But let me also quickly put this out. See, I've been privileged to, have to come out can be absolutely misleading. In fact, you will probably see the same number of the same person today at the same rally tomorrow. So I want to also put that out. But I think a lot of credit also needs to go to INEC in respect to the PVC you talked about. The continuous the distribution of the PVC, the permanent voters card, also resumed today till Sunday. So from now till Sunday, the people of Edo can still pick up their permanent voters card. But again, it's also misleading, because as at the time INEC was giving the figures for the PVC collections towards the presidential election last year, it was saying that almost 100 million Nigerians collected their PVCs. But look at the numbers. The numbers last presidential election was one of the lowest, if not the lowest, we've had from 1999 till now. Despite the fact that we have higher number of registered voters, higher number of collectors of PVCs, but the turnout was really low. So I'm just trying to put it out there so that we don't think that
you can benchmark the Edo experience with our last gubernatorial election in 2020.
The numbers were good. The numbers in Edo, I was going there, the numbers were good.
Yeah, so the voters in Edo State are very enlightened, they're very sophisticated. So we don't just collect BBC for the fun of it. We collect BBC because they are eager and willing to come and vote. So
let's talk about Sɪᴛᴜᴜ. It's been a whole lot of drama, from moving to the PDP with the current governor, leaving his political father that he has also gone back to now leaving the current governor and going back to the same political father that he left about 4 years ago. People, and they told me that the possibility of that the fact that Governor Obaseki won the election, there's a big role that Sɪᴛᴜᴜ played in that election. Does it still hold that ace? Does it still hold that power? And how much of a factor do you think Sɪᴛᴜᴜ, have not been with the APC as we speak, will play in ahead of the Saturday 21st of September election in Edo State?
I will answer you pointedly what the time is. You really don't know what the figures are. And the facts are sacred. You can go and fact check me. When Sɪᴛᴜᴜ was deputy governor, he never one day won his unit, let alone his ward. Fact check me. When he was a serving deputy governor, he never one day won his unit. The unit was always won by Commander Oshimole for the APC. So what value did he bring to the ticket? The answer is no value at all. Because he never won his unit, even as a serving deputy governor. I'm telling you, his unit. You can fact check me on this. He never won his ward. He never won his LGA. So what value did he bring to the ticket of the PDP? The answer is no value, because the APC have always won in senatorial district. It's low. So those who keep saying that he's leaving, when he was even there and he had a perspective of office, he couldn't win his unit. So it's just simply good riddance to bad rubbish. So for me, it's just the typical Nigerian politicians. They go to where their bread will be buttered. So he wants to continue his political survivor, and now he feels that the APC, he wants to deploy to the center. Since the government that he's serving under is about winding up, he wants to find favor with his old political foes so that he can be able to get something at the national level. That's all he's doing. It's a matter of survivor. It's not about gathering any votes for the PDP or against the PDP, and that is the stand. And those facts are well understood by the PDP members and by other people. And in any case, Sɪᴛᴜᴜ is just an individual, right? He has just one vote, just like I do. So everybody will go there that day and answer their father's name. So nobody is going to be voting for anybody because of anybody. All right? You have your PVC, you'll be accredited, and you will vote for the kind of your choice. And I can assure you that the government of Edo State, looking at the recent incidents that have been happening, they've assured the people of Edo State that the elections will be free, to be fair, to be credible, and there will be enough maximum security for life and property. So people should not be mindful of the fear mongering. They should come out in their numbers and cast their votes. And that those votes, because you should rest assured that those votes will count and they will be defended by the relevant authorities of the state.
Barrister Sɪᴛᴜ, I can't thank you enough for finding time to join me on the show today. But I'll keep in touch. And like I said, all things being equal and God sparing our lives, my station, Mainland FM, will be in Edo State to give extensive and exclusive coverage for the election. So perhaps.
So before I leave, please, so please, if you don't mind, I want to really use this medium to encourage Edo people from across the world, whether in Lagos or in the diaspora. They should come to Benin and come to Edo and cast their votes. The state is safe, the elections will be peaceful, and the security agencies have assured us that they are going to ensure the safety of life and property. So they should not be scared of what they read in the news. They should come back home with their PVC and ensure that the popular mandate of the people is delivered come September 2024, so that Edo can become more prosperous and Edo can move forward to where we want it to be.
Thank you so much, Barrister Sɪᴛᴜ, for being my guest on the show today. And like I said, Barrister Sɪᴛᴜ is from the Bronze Solicitors and Attorney. He's a very young and vibrant and very enlightened individual. I will keep in touch with you. Thank you very much once again, Barrister Sɪᴛᴜ, for joining us. Thank you so much.
And whenever you are in Benin, please do well to reach out to us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Well, due for our first break, the headline news comes up in a few seconds, and when we come back, I will just get straight into picking your calls and taking your message.
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Federal government warns Niger Delta and southern states of rising waters. Reveals cause of Maiduguri flood. PDP suspends Dino Milai over alleged anti-party activities. Nesria threatens to sanction firms disregarding environmental laws. NNPC and Dangote eye crude sale and product buyback deal. On the foreign scene, Elon Musk slams Australian government as fascist over misinformation law. And in sports, 21-year-old Nigerian midfielder to offer senior problem to Super Eagles stars Iheanacho and Ejike. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
You dey find ways to save your data. You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps where you know they use, but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes. Make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps where you know they use to save your data when you know they use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message they come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Meals have have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of barring will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines. Either because your picture on the MTN portal might be different from the one on your NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used the wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you are on the move. No need to visit MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instruction and you are done in under 2 minutes. Remember, barring will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch. MTN, what are we doing today?
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
Guys, you need to check your NIN status. I cannot say this enough because the next batch of barring will start again soon. I know some of us have submitted our NIN multiple times, but your NIN has not been linked to your lines. Either because your picture on the MTN portal might be different from the one on your NIMC portal, or you got married and changed your name, or another person registered your line for you when you bought it, or you mistakenly used the wrong date of birth, and many other reasons. But don't worry, MTN has made it easier to link your NIN in just 2 minutes from the comfort of your home, office, or while you are on the move. No need to visit MTN office and join the queue. If you use a smartphone, you can visit nin.mtn.ng or dial *996*4# on your MTN line. Just follow the instruction and you are done in under 2 minutes. Remember, barring will start again very soon. Link your NIN to avoid stories that touch. MTN, what are we doing today?
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
You dey find ways to save your data. You go first start with your apps. Delete apps wey you no dey use but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes, make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps wey you no dey use to save your data when you no dey use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message dey come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. Sound of Lagos.
Those who could improve this situation
for the good of all of us, do not allow the opportunity to make things better for us. They make it better for themselves, for their comfort and their families. Cronyism is prevailing. Today, our rulers in Abuja and across some of their states, you know what they say to us when they remove subsidy and we say no. Hunger is increasing, they say so what? Unemployment is a cause, they say yes, we know. Why are the people hungry? Is then let them face death. That is what is in Abuja of today. The current way of governance make nation building impossible. What it does, it makes poverty and the erosion of just society inevitable. We have gathered at this hour in this place to put an end to the national corruption and corruption. We have assembled here today to bring a new day and a new Nigeria to our people. Today, the Nigerian people are decent and hardworking people. They are equally long suffering. They tolerate for too long. Just because they are long suffering does not mean they should be forced to suffer on death come. We, our people, we've had enough of excuses. Our people have had enough of having nothing. The current government's trademark is to throw empty words, all action at our problem, as if doing nothing will cause our troubles to live for sheer boredom. Unemployment increasing, industrialization we have not, refinery nothing is working, electricity they lie. If this is the government of, if this is the government's idea of transformation and we have none of it, we should not have any of it. Because before we say the government of slow motion, now it is the government of no motion at all. If they want to stand still at the bus stop or train station and be stagnated without poverty, they have their right to do so, and we have our right to kick them out. Not enough that they are stealing from our children tomorrow for lack of expected in education. They are still embezzling the retirement benefit of hardworking Nigeria, including our grandfathers. They are stealing the port, the treasury, not even leaving some coins for us to war with. Let them be out. Out now.
Welcome back to the Situation Room. Let me take your call. 0913-600-0410. By 5:30, the full bulletin would come through. And by 6 o'clock, I will also come back to take you through the world of sports from 6 to 7 p.m. Sport Cruise live on Mainland 98.3 FM. There's a lot to talk about. We'll also review some of the key games in the top leagues across Europe expected to come up this weekend. The Falconet have been knocked out of the Under-20 World Cup. They lost to Japan in the early hours of this morning. But the Junior Tigers will be playing Mali in the finals of the ongoing Under-20 Afro Basketball Championships. All of that would be by 6 o'clock. But hey, let me get back to your calls. My guest earlier today on the show from 4 to 5 p.m. was Barrister Sarenti Dennis. He joined me from Benin City, the capital of Edo State, and he gave us on the spot assessment of how the state is preparing ahead of the September 21st 2024 governorship election in the state. 17 political parties are fielding candidates. There is the Labour, the APC, the NNPP, the ANPP, the ADC, the AAC, the Labour Party, and the list goes on and on and on like that. The people of Edo State would also have the privilege of still picking their permanent voters card from today till Sunday. So that was the announcement that INEC made today. Let me also listen to your calls and also read your messages on Facebook. It's Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's have a conversation. Hello, good evening.
Well, good evening. This is Okangbilina.
Mr. Okangbilina, good to have you on the show today.
I think on the Edo election, I think if you ask me, I don't belong to any party. But from what I've been feeling in the past 1.5 years, even particularly in the past, this last 1 month, okay, I mean, it has not been easy at all. The fare that I bought last week, it's not up to 5 days of the fare. I think it's 40,000. What am I doing? What profit am I getting in my business? It is now you are looking for money to buy fuel. You are not even fair though. Everything has gone up, and the people want to. They are even coming to campaign. What are you campaigning? If not that Nigeria is such a place where you can rig election and run away with it, I don't think this party can come and open mouth and tell anybody anything, because they have already messed up Nigeria. Look at what everybody is doing. In a normal country, in a same country, they should not come and stand and talk about a campaigning. What are you campaigning for? When people are dying, they are not even around. Look at what's happening in Maiduguri. You are not there. You are enjoying in London, and you want people to vote for you. How? My brother, it is. In fact, it is foolishness for anybody to vote for anybody. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kangbilina. 09136000410. Please, let's be a bit civil with the radio languages that we use. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Please, you need to put down the volume on your radio set, or you turn it off completely.
It's turned off.
Okay. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Uncle Tony. I'm communicating you from Otahe.
Okay.
Thank you very much for what you are doing up there. I'm very grateful for this interview. I'm from Edo State.
Oh.
From Wohimi in Edo State.
Wow, that's good. So, would you be traveling home next weekend?
No,
okay.
I'm not traveling. But what I want to say is that Edo is a state that when you talk of politics, they are very vibrant. They are very, very informed. If you go to any village in Edo State, they know who they want to vote for. So even if APC is using 35,000 police or using army, Edo, they are very courageous. They are not intimidated. They know what they want. With a now, but when you are buying 1,500 for in Benin and a bag of rice is 100,000 in Benin. Okay, I tell you, in Benin those days, when we go to Benin, a few years ago, you go to Benin, it's a place where you eat, you spend more money, you get everything, food everywhere. But today there is some kind in Benin. How can people say that with all these things they don't know what they want to vote for? So they will not be intimidated. Let them vote the person of their choice. So I know there will be no problem, there will be no crisis. By the grace of God. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Uncle Tony. Atonda Kayode says, okay, I'll respond to your request. I hope I will be able to. Chris Enwalem says, I've told you on this platform that Edo election will be very interesting. Edo people know what they want. They are feeling the pains and the agony inflicted on them by this government. They know that this government cannot be trusted to change the narrative of their pains and suffering. Edo no be Lagos. But there were issues with the primaries of the governorship election in the states. They would choose who would provide good governance and not demand that would fritter away the common patrimony of the state. I'm from Edo State and I know better. Interesting. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome. Is that Mr. Paul?
Calling from Lagos.
Okay.
No, I'm not from Edo. You see this PC government, it cannot produce good food at all. Instead, it's producing a bad food. APC government is 괡ɪᴛᴛᴇ government. Now people are hungry. How much is in the retail price? How much? So APC government is the dead government. It cannot rise again anymore.
Mr. Paul, I'll have to take care. I've told you severally. Let's try and be civil with the language you use on radio. I understand, but we have quite a lot of people with different opinions listening to the program, and it makes a whole lot of sense when we respect people's decisions. Okay. Abaton Temitayo on Facebook says, your guest has spoken well, but stylishly campaigning for PDP in Edo State. Well, John Bernardo, he says, Philip Shuaibu has no political value in my state. Like I said the last time, Oshomole controls Edo North, while Edo South is PDP stronghold. Edo Central is going to be the battleground. As your guest said, Philip Shuaibu has never won a ward or polling unit in Uzaire. I guess that is from his local government. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Okoyemi.
Hello, you're welcome.
My name is Adeodu Bakari.
Oh, Barrister Bakari, good to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the beautiful work you are doing. Well, on the planned day election, it's a situation of political clash. The giants are struggling it out, and we hope that the real giant, which is the choice of the people, will prevail rather than these individual giants trying to express themselves. I wish that the real giant, which is the entire population of Edo State, be given the opportunity to express their desire as to who will govern that state next, and let the will of the people prevail rather than the will of individuals or group of individuals or any persons having secluded interest. So I wish the process better, but I must also stress, with my experience as a lawyer, that the Nigerian police must continue to give us the impression that will enable us to rely on them. That
should be an impression of neutrality.
Yes, because we have had a lot from the part of PDP as to the alleged one-sidedness of the Nigerian police, and we are yet to get a formal response from the police to disprove what the PDP continues to allege. Now, the issue of arresting people in Edo State, taking them to Abuja, and then arraigning them in Abuja, the legality of it or otherwise, we can discuss that at a later date. But overall, I will expect that we should allow peace reign. We should let the will of the people prevail, and let the choice of the people determine who governs them next. And that's my wish.
Thank you very much, Barrister Bakari. Let me read some messages on our WhatsApp page, and it says, "Good evening. I believe and I can bet with all I have that the situation of the country now, APC cannot win any state except Lagos." That is Rahim from Agege. This one says, "It is only in Nigeria that the same people who have inflicted so much suffering and rendered the average Nigerian in penurious condition can still come out to campaign. In some other climes, we know what will have happened to this type of character when they go out to campaign." That is Steve from Ijaniki. Okay. Good evening, guys. Your guest took a swipe against Peter Obi for backing Olumide Akpata, the candidate of the Labour Party. What does he want Peter Obi to do? Does he want him not to support the members of his party? That is CY from Shibiri. Okay. This one says, this is about the talk. Okay. Thank you very much. The coming election in Edo State is going to be the clash of the titans. I urge the good people of Edo to come out and vote for their conscience, and I hope the election will be free and will be fair. That is Okari Emmanuel from Ikotun. This one says, "Good evening, Milan FM. Thank you for the guest you brought. At least those of us from Edo in Lagos now have an idea of what is going on in the state. I can't go home to vote, but my families know who they would vote for." That is Stephen from Ikorodu. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mr. President.
Welcome to Mainland FM.
Thank you. This is Mr. Shukuri from Sango.
Okay.
Yeah, remember I'm from Anambra State, not from Edo State.
Okay.
I want to talk because I love Edo State, okay? Now, let me talk about that code that was signed yesterday. To the best of my knowledge and other schools of thought, they believe, and I believe, that this code that has been signed over the years to the candidacy is like useless. Take the last election, general election, for instance. Of all the matters, I followed the teacher codes and that and that. Why they don't know about them? We are people not here. We are parties not born in the other part of Nigeria, which I personally also saw. I'm many people sorry. So, to the best of my knowledge, this teacher code is just an ordinary, to me, it's jamboree. And I will use that opportunity to call the man I respect, Bishop Kuka, to honorably present on that committee. Because that thing is painting his image. It's a personality that worldwide we respect him. Secondly,
Please wrap up your thought real quick.
Okay. Like your guest, the barrister. Thank God it's not INEC, and thank God it's not the court. Otherwise, we just give PDP this but the candidate one, that is my stand. And my people there, my people I believe.
Out of this studio, there's a memo waiting for me already. Prince Wise, let me talk to you.
Talk to me, Daddy. I'm waiting for you to.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Sport, how are you?
I'm good.
You see, about you do nothing concern me. But I'm in Nigeria, and I want peace in the state. The drum is being drawn by Obateki is what I don't like as a governor. If the number one citizen of that state, they say somebody come from far away now. You see, they're the king. You do one peace. If anything happens after the election, I'm telling you, nobody speak well of Obateki. You are governor for 8 years, for God's sake. I am going to not to be there forever. Even though somebody go for after 8 years, you don't need more campaign. It's your project that campaign for you. I've done this, I've done that. Go for this one, you will repeat the same thing. That's what you have to be saying. So what's going on? Do nothing for all of us. You have to read a good way. But what I hate is this. If somebody saying yes, you say you are against Godfather. And when you are behaving like emperor.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
Let me tell you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sport. Tell the Obateki to cool down. The best candidate that's going to win the election, all of them are indigenous of Edo State. That's my take, Mr.
Well, Gordon Obaseki is also an indigenous of Edo State. So, you probably would just want to say that he's within his rights. I mean, he's trying to put up his successor, which I find really interesting, by the way, from a party that keeps saying, Edo no be Lagos. Hello, good evening.
Evening, Mr. Sport.
You're welcome.
This is Mr. Sunday. I'm calling from Ikeja.
Mr. Sunday, you have 1 minute. Let's do this real quick.
Okay. About the election in Edo State. I beg. The people of Edo, if they love their generation, they shouldn't go to APC. They should go to.
Objectively speaking, what would be the selling point of the APC in Edo State in the forthcoming election? Even if Wike is sent to the state, truth be told, that with today's realities, the ruling APC cannot win any councillorship election that is conducted fair, free, and square in this election. Are they campaigning for more hunger? That is Tony Anaili from Ijagemo community. Thank you very much for that. Pastor Ambrose.
In fact, you know I'm from Edo State. Edo North for that matter.
Wow. So you are the people of Comrade Senator.
Yes, we are from the same senatorial district. And before now, those who were in APC, they worked for Buhari.
Pastor Ambrose, we have 1 minute to do this.
They worked for Buhari, and then Buhari did not pay them until now. A lot of them, they have not been paid. That is a minus for them. Then all these ones that all the whole PDP members that were arrested to Abuja, what has happened to them? Okay, let me tell you, I don't belong to any political party, and I don't care who wins. My own is that let there be fair and credible election. But going with the antecedents, APC cannot win. I'm telling you the truth. It's either Labour Party or PDP.
Thank you.
Because
thank you, Pastor Ambrose.
As I'm talking to you now, where the die is cast,
Pastor Ambrose,
people don't want to see APC in Sabongida.
Thank you very much. Well, that's about the size of the pack. Ooh, okay. Let me squeeze this one in real quick. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Ooh, well, I guess nature doesn't want me to. 09136000410 is the number you've been calling, but I won't be able to pick your calls anymore because we've come to the end of the program. My guest today was Barrister Dennis Osareti, all the way from Benin City, the capital of Edo State. Join me today from 4 to 5 p.m. To give us the assessments on how the people of Edo State are preparing to choose who succeeds the outgoing governor after spending 8 years in office, the first 4 years on the APC and the second 4 years on the platform of the PDP. Edo is a very interesting state, and trust us on Mainland FM. We'll be on ground, God willing, live in Benin City and the other 17 local governments in the state to give you updates as the election will be going on the 1st of September 2024. My name is Oᴏᴜ. Thank you to everyone that made this production a success. 5:30 the news would come up, and by 6 o'clock I will come back with my sport guys to take you through the world of sport as we prepare for a beautiful weekend. Stay safe. The show returns on Monday. Have a very beautiful weekend for yourself. Bye for now.
Things seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there's not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Oᴏᴜt괜બ્ᴇ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday